Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Before I get the session started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, whom I learned from and who teach and rule well, and a shalom to the whole elect spirits, brothers, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, inviting the elect spirits to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai, our most beloved elder brother. This is your brother Adah from the GMS Atlanta camp. So I remember this movie, Tales from the Hood. It was I don't know, for lack of better words, a black version of Tales from the Crypt. I remember, so I thought it was produced. I thought it was directed, because I looked it up. I thought it was directed by Spike Lee, but it was produced by Spike Lee, which still means he had his hands involved in it. He probably made the majority of the money off this. And so remember back in these days, let me see. When did this movie come out? Yeah, 1995. So what was happening in 1995? I, for one, was a zombie. I thought I was African American, aka black, / Christian, white Jesus Christian American, raised in Arizona in 1995. Let me see. I was out of prison. I went to prison in 1990, got out in 1993, I believe. I did 3.5 years. I'm going back in time. It's a long time ago. This is right around when Snoop Dogg was really fucking huge. Ice Cube had left NWA. NWA exploded. Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains. So grunge rock, what they were calling grunge rock, was really fucking huge. The hair bands, the 80s and early 90s hairdo rock bands were over. That genre was gone. Your Van Halen, your fucking Bon Jovi, that type of shit was gone. Guns N' Roses was kind of huge, but they were fading. They were at the end of their hugeness. They were like really big, but dropping. And Nirvana was coming up, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, stuff like that. And then you had NWA, Ice Cube, Ice-T, and just an explosion of rap. No one thought rap was going to become what it became. I remember this Tupac was just coming out, all kinds, man. So you get this newfound sense of black pride. It's a black thing you wouldn't understand. It's a black thing you wouldn't understand. All that kind of goofy shit, right? A sense of freedom, a sense of self-identity, which it was all fucking darkness. And what I did not know, is basically any and every so-called black person on television was already a part of a society, a secret society known as the Black Boule / Freemasonic group, which the Bible says are the group of Israelites who had made the covenant with death. If you go into, and I'm going somewhere with this because this movie I want to show you a scene from this movie, Tales in the Hood. Okay? Awesome movie. This is the one from, no, I'm talking about the original. I want the original. Let me see. Tales from the Hood, yeah, 1995 was directed by Rusty Cundiff, who also co-wrote the film with Darren Scott, and executive producer, and executive produced by Spike Lee. I remember Spike Lee's name being on it, and it was full of a bunch of so-called black actors, right? So it had that whole hood, the whole fucking Boys in the Hood, South Central, all those indoctrinating films that depicted the Southern Kingdom as a bunch of, they made it attractive to be street thugs. You know what I'm saying? Let's look at this real quick. What time did, I'm going to come back to this. What time did Tales, let me see, Boys in the Hood and South Central was the more popular one. That was the one that I liked the most. Everyone thought that was, what? Yep.
The crime drama film South Central came out in 1992.
I remember.
While the TV sitcom of the same name aired in 1994.
I remember.
The movie was released on September 18th, 1992, and the TV show aired on Fox from April to June of 1994.
I remember going into the movie theater with a 40-ounce of Old English. I had just got out of prison. I was on parole. And I went to the theater with my baby mama, Samika, to watch that fucking movie. And I thought it was the most amazing thing in the fucking world. I could not believe how good it was. It was 1,000 times better than Boys in the Hood, in my opinion. Oh, dog, all that shit. I left that fucking theater just pumped the fuck up. Just indoctrinated demons, right? So 1992. So this vibration is in the earth. Esau is releasing. We understand now that Hollywood is the left-handed propaganda / enchantment device of Esau Edom, using the media ever since he was given the technology to do the press, the radio, and then the television. It was through this, and he understood, because he's the anointed cherub that covers, and he is wiser than Daniel, meaning he gets face-to-face instruction from the left-handed Alahayim whenever he does his Feast of Blood on how to orchestrate and develop technology, and also how to theatrically seduce the masses by using key figures in media. That means key figures as Edomites, key figures as women, and then key figures Edomite women, Edomite men, and then key figures Jake men and Jake women, raising them up to be A-list actors and actresses, to be these attractive people. And then when they're getting interviewed, when they're living their life, when they're having documentaries, it's all nothing but worldliness. It's all nothing but an indoctrination on the left-hand side. You're not going to hear anything about the truth, but you will be seduced. You will live vicariously through these people, right? Because they look like you. And you'll grow fond of their characters, right? So let's look at this. Let's look at this really quick. Yeah, man, I remember this. So you have this scene in Tales from the Hood. So we see that Spike Lee, right? Spike Lee was the one that brought us what? Do the Right Thing. He was this black director, right? Ooh, you got to remember, back in the days, anytime a so-called black man or a black woman got on television, and they were very attractive in their gifting, and they claimed to be for you a black person, because that's what you were called. You were called black. You were called African American. You automatically, just instantaneously liked Michael Jackson. You liked Prince. You liked Eddie Murphy. You liked Quincy Jones. Any singer, anyone, Shaka Khan, anyone, Earth, Wind, and Fire, anyone you saw on television that was black, that's where you found your identity. That's where you were made to feel better, because you were aware of slavery somewhat. You were aware of civil rights. You were aware of racism. You were aware that there was some form of pecking order going on in society. That white even joked about it, Watch out, white people are listening. We used to joke about this shit. If you don't be quiet, I'm going to get loud in front of all these white people. You're joking about something that actually has a little bit of truth to it. They were considered, they will call the police on you. If you go into their neighborhoods, you got to behave. Shit like that, just all the societal fucking, constructs. So when this came out, Spike Lee was considered, I remember Arsenio Hall. I'm 55 years old. We're living in 2006, 26. In the 90s, man, there was an explosion of Hebrew Israelite. We were called African Americans of black back then. We still are today, but Arsenio Hall, Eazy-E, Ice Cube. There was all this talent being released. We weren't understanding that Hollywood is controlled by Amalek, the head tribe of Esau Edom. We didn't know that. You didn't even think that. Everyone thought, any hip-hop artist, any rap artist, any athlete, any black male on television that was behaving the way he was there because he was autonomous. He filled out an application, or he went somewhere and showed his talent, and some talent agent saw him and was like, oh my God, this guy's going to be amazing. Let's give him a deal. He'd get on television and just start doing his shit. That's what I thought. That's not even fucking how it works. Before these people even get to the position of the mass media, they are trained, they are initiated, they have made a covenant with death. And this is what it goes into. The covenant of death, and then we'll get to this video. The covenant with death. And we understand now that the covenant of death means a covenant with Esau, because Esau is called death and hell in the scriptures. So our people making a covenant with Esau, Edom, Amalek, right? Look at Isaiah 28:15. Because ye have said, and this is the spirit of Yahweh through the prophet Isaiah, speaking directly to the children of Israel during Isaiah's time and into the future throughout our captivities, because he already knew how the story was written, because he's the writer of the story. And this is the warning. And this is, we are to those of us who are hopefully elect, we see this, we confess our own transgressions in this wickedness, and we come up out of this stuff and we repent, and then we make the sins known to our other family members, our people, the Israelites, you blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and we tell you, you cannot be a part of this. All right? Because you have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, that's talking about when the judgment comes, it shall not come unto us. These people are under such a heavy indoctrination of Esau's inner workings and secrets that they believe, because of whatever enchantments, whatever sorceries that they are a part of on the left-hand side in their religion, the Black Boule, the Freemasonic temples that are provided for them and the other Edomites, in order to tap into Amalek's priesthood. Amalek is the head tribe of Esau, Edom, posing as the southern kingdom right now. That's the controversy of Zion. But they are the specific tribe out of Edom that Satan on the left-hand side specifically directly deals with. Just like how Judah is the head tribe of the 12 tribes, or the most influential, the spirit of Yahweh usually or does move through us first and then activates all of our other brethren. There's a spiritual authority in ranking in the tribes. It's the same thing with Esau, Edom. There is a spiritual ranking amongst their tribes, and out of those tribes of Edom, it is the Amalekites that rank the highest in the spirit, and Satan himself and the other spirits that he assigns to them directly deal with them face to face, and then through them it moves to the rest of the tribes of the Edomites. That's why the Amalekites are in control of all the technology, all the banks, and all the fucking the media. And with the amount of money they have, they're able to pay off all their other tribesmen or their other countrymen, Salakia, and get them to do their bidding. And then the Edomites higher up also understand that the Amalekites are their own brothers. They're not the Jews. They know. The higher you go up, they know the truth. So Isaiah 28:15 is speaking to the Israelites, though, that have made deals with them in order to be on those platforms. This is where the one-eye symbolism comes in, and the horns, the double horns with the fingers, and all those weird little signs they do with their hands. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we in agreement. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us, for we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. So they have to come into the agreement of lies that Esau has spread over the nations. The covering cast over the nations are a bunch of lies. Iconoclasm is a bunch of lies. The covering of the faces of the judges is a bunch of blasphemous lies. White Jesus is a lie. The Amalekites calling themselves Jews is a lie. And so these Israelites, whether they're northern or southern kingdom, once they get high up into these rankings with these Edomites, they have made lies their refuge. They have come in agreement with that shit. Okay, so the Most High says, therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I lay in Zion. That's the real rulership of Israel. That's the elect men for a foundation, a stone. That's Yahushai, a tried stone, and a precious cornerstone. This is the third temple being established in these days. The literal bodies of the elect men, and including the 1/3 innumerable multitude that listens to them. A sure foundation, he that believeth shall not make haste. Isaiah 28:17, judgment also will I lay to the line, and righteousness to the plummet, and the hail shall sweep away the refuge of lies. That's talking about World War III. That's talking about the ICBM missiles, the arrows. And the waters shall overflow the hiding place. Verse 18, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled. and your agreement with hell shall not stand. So all the Israelites in hip hop, in porn, in the government, in sports that have sold out to Esau on the left-hand side, yes, Israelites have amazing talent, God-given, Yahweh-given talent, because we're the sons of God. But they have submitted their vibration, they have submitted their influence, they have submitted their bodies to the use of Esau on the left-hand side. They have sworn in agreement with Esau's schooling, with Esau's left-handed schools of knowledge, the secret societies. They have agreed to operate there and work there and keep that a secret, right? And operate there in order for a position on the platform to make money, right? The Most High says, all that's going to come, it's all going to come down. And your covenant with death shall be disannulled. And this is why Michael Jackson got killed. This is why Prince died. This is why they die. Yahweh moves the wicked to murder these guys before they can even live out the fucking rest of their lives. Look what Prince did. Prince is a fucking phenomenal musician. And he was extremely intelligent, right? Super attractive dude, very well spoken. He had so many fucking endowments. And he was even arguing or fighting publicly with Esau about more control financially over his creations. Everything he was saying was right. But if you ever notice anything about Prince, he never mentioned anything about the covenant of death. If you look at all of Prince's album covers, even when he was complaining about the amount of money he should have been making, he was still putting one-eye symbolism on all of his fucking album covers. He never exposed the secrets. He just wanted more money and more control over his own shit. And Esau fucking ended his ass. Same thing with fucking Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was fighting. Michael Jackson was very intelligent, very brilliant, very gifted, and making business moves where he was empowering himself financially. Well, what are the curses saying? What do the curses say? This is not our rest. Esau being jealous, being fucking murderous and a liar, they moved and they ended Michael Jackson's life. And they're making more money off of Michael Jackson and Prince now than they did when Prince and Michael Jackson were alive, bro. It's the curses, but this prophecy empowers them to get over on Jake every time. Tupac was killed. I don't believe a random niglet. I don't believe that narrative. I don't believe Biggie. I don't believe Biggie was shot either. I believe that, and I also do not believe that it was fucking Diddy. Why? Because the Edomites run this shit, man. And they have studied all the data. And any power that Diddy had was given to him because of his dealings with Clive Barker, Clive Davis, and then it was also taken because he began to move past his boundaries and started wanting to tap into more money. I think he was making $40 million a year just for being the face of Ciroc. But the Edomite families that owned that liquor, they were making $400 million a year because of his face. And so he wanted to venture out into the big money. And those Edomites fucking pulled some strings and they ruined his fucking entire career. Why though? Because it comes into this prophecy, Salakia. There's reasons why our people can only get so far in that kingdom, man. It's Yahweh. Yahweh will stop it. Yahweh Shai will stop it, because this is not our rest. And it doesn't give Esau a break. It doesn't give Esau a pass. Esau is the wicked. He is the sword of Yahweh. But when you start understanding more and more of these, it's like, oh wow, Whitney Houston is another one. She was ended. She fucking died a horrible death. They took everything from Bill Cosby. You got to understand how this works. When you become an icon on that television, you make even more money. If your image is still good, all of your work continues to be replayed over and over and over on television, constantly fucking generating money. It's a pretty brilliant system when you look at it from that aspect. And you have to understand that Esau understands that. And this prophecy prevents Jake. Like, for example, the Rolling Stones, they're still fucking making millions off of everything they did when they were teenagers. Same thing with the Pink Floyd. Those Edomites, they're still making millions off of everything they did when they were teenagers. There's few Jakes that blow up like that still live without Esau tarnishing their image, right? Or them dying under weird circumstances where Esau gets all the money. So this is what this is going into, and your covenant with death shall be disannulled, and your agreement with hell. So your covenant with death and hell shall be disannulled and shall not stand. Your covenant with Esau Amalek will not stand when the overflowing scourge shall pass through, then ye shall be trodden down by it. So this is going into, there is a group of our people that have made the oath. They have made the covenant with death. They have sold their soul, so to speak. But it wasn't to Satan, the prince demon spirit. It was to Esau, who is Satan, the prince demon spirit's physical counterpart. Now look at some of these evidences of this stuff. Remember this movie. I want to show you something. This is a scene in Tales from the Hood where the slaves, it's like a fucking, what do you call it? What are those old houses where they used to have, it's one of the plantation. It's been inherited down, passed down, and there's pictures of slaves on the walls. And this Edomite man, what is he? He is the lineage. He is the offspring of generations later of wealth of someone whose great grandparents owned Hebrew Israelite slaves that they told the world were just black Africans, right? And those slaves, they come back to get a vengeance, which this is all biblical, but the story is being told incorrectly because vengeance is Yahweh-Shai's. Yahweh-Shai is the one that comes back and gets vengeance, and he doesn't get vengeance on one, he gets vengeance on the entire nation, and then he gets established on the throne with the elect who also follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, and through him and them and King David get the entire earth with the 1/3 innumerable multitude, get the entire planet in order after they all serve 1,000 years of slavery. So Esau knows the scriptures. He's going to tell you bits and pieces of it, but he's also going to put his symbolism all throughout this. I didn't notice this when I first saw this movie. I saw this clip tonight. I had seen this before. And I was like, if I ever find that, I'm going to do a lesson on it. And just the algorithms brought it up right now. I was like, oh, snap, I'm going to do a lesson. So look at this. Remember, he's knocking. Someone's knocking at his door. That's the front door of his big mansion house. I'm going to show you something. Look. All right. You're going to see right there by his foot, you see a pillar. There should not be a pillar that big that quickly from the door. That's not normal architecture. They're showing you something, and then the floor by his foot as you walk back into the house, it turns into a black and white checkerboard. I want you to look at this. Big, massive fucking pillar behind his back. But you're not paying attention to that. You're paying attention to what's about to happen at the door. Now you see it. You can barely see it because they're very crafty. You got this door, you got these two massive pillars. You got one to his left and one all the way over to his right, and then it's a black and white checker floor. But this movie was advertised, you got to remember, 1995 was during the buzz of Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Boys in the Hood, South Central. That vibration is all over America right now. Arsenio fucking Hall, Eddie Murphy. I mean, it's all kinds. TLC, Tupac. There's more so-called, very attractive, very skilled so-called black people on TV than there ever has been before right now. There's a major quote-unquote black American vibration. That's so this movie, even though you're seeing this Edomite dude, it was a ton of brothers. The whole Jake community went to go see this fucking movie, bro. So you see these two pillars. You don't know what the fuck it means. You're not even trying to pay attention to that shit. You're wanting to watch these little miniature slave characters called Niglets get this motherfucker. And then there's a whole checkerboard right there. This is a Freemasonic temple symbolism right here, telling you that all of this stuff that had to do with our people on television was controlled by these people the whole time. So there goes your slave, right? A slave from the past that came out the picture, that came to life in this supernatural horror / comedy thriller. And it's being told to us by a race of people who are operating in a religion on the left-hand side that is a satanic religion, and they have some of our people working with them, helping them to further seduce our minds, because they understand that when you look at television and you see someone that looks like yourself, you'll follow them if you don't know what's going on. And so this is what all these people, Ice Cube, Spike Lee, Eddie Murphy, they're all a part of this.
Where the fuck did your little black ass come from?
It was through this movie that the word niglet was coined, because he's trying to shoot this dude right here with a shotgun or something, and he keeps escaping, and he's running after him. Come back here, you little niglet. Bro, everybody was fucking laughing. This is how powerful theater is. But it came from this movie, that word niglet. I use it a lot.
You think you would...
So there you go. He's speaking between the two pillars. You can barely see the pillar on the left, but it's right there because it's painted white. That's not normal architecture. This is for the movie. And then there's a black and white checkerboard. They're showing you something in this movie.
Some old voodoo bitch could scare me out of my house. I don't care how many slaves died here. I didn't kill them. Thank goodness. A mother of...
All right, see it? So they got, again, the little claymation slave is walking on the black and white checkerboard right by a pillar. It's all Freemasonic, because that pillar shouldn't be right there by the corner of that wall. That doesn't even make sense for it to be there. This is symbolism. And there it goes. So now you can see both the pillars. So now the slave character is standing on the checkerboard, and if you look in the direction that his head is pointing, if you were to be in that direction, you would see you can see both the pillars that way. But right here, you're like behind the scenes. So they're showing you this from every angle. There go the pillars again, and the checkerboard. There go the pillars again, the checkerboard.
Lord have mercy. Wow.
No, look at the picture. So they got this woman, right? So that's Queen of Heaven worship, but it's also, you destroy a nation when you put down their men and you exalt the women, right? That's also something that's in the scriptures that Yahweh would do. But we understand that Esau knows the scriptures, and he is Yahweh's sword. So many of the prophecies that Yahweh said he would do, he was able to implement them into the earth through America through using Esau Edom to do it, through his philosophies and his position of rulership. I shall behold, a woman shall compass a man. That didn't start happening until America was established, and then Esau, through the media, began to pump out women's liberation, saying things like the black woman is the backbone of the black community. That's all bullshit. It sounds good. It's bullshit. No woman is the backbone of any society. The man is the head, period, bro. And without the man in his position, the women and children are screwed. So look at this picture on the wall. What do you see? You see a Jake woman sitting in between two pillars. Just random? No, bro. That's telling you something. Look, they're showing you something in this movie while they're entertaining you. That's not an accident. You see the two pillars.
They don't want you here. I mean, they don't want you there.
So you see the two pillars again. And vengeance is going to happen. Vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. When you read Isaiah 14, and they shall possess those who possess them, or they shall oppress those who are their oppressors. Everything's going to flip around. Obadiah says this. Lamentations 4:21-22 says this. But Yahushua is coming on a chariot, a UFO the size of a mountain, with other angels to completely destroy this entire race of people and bring their elites into chains and exact the judgment that's been written on them. So this is kind of like a fucking half-assed version of that, but they're showing you who they are by showing you their symbolism in this movie. And this whole production was packaged as a so-called black movie produced by a so-called black famous person, Spike Lee, and marketed to so-called black people while they were showing us this fucking symbolism in the movie.
Whoa.
All right, so let me show another. Now look at this. I want to pull up one more. I want to show you some photos that I took. I was in a church. I had to do some fire extinguishers for a church just the other day. And when I walked in, I noticed that right away. I was just there Friday. This is supposed to be a Christian church, a black church at that. What do you see? You see the two pillars that don't even fucking belong there. Why? This is a Freemasonic church. This is a church, and then there was another guy there that was doing work, but if you see the church, they got locks on the doors, they got cameras fucking everywhere. This is the pastor and his son. Those are the black boule. All right? These are Freemasons who have made a covenant with death, who pose as Christians. Christianity is false. And I believe that there are Christians who actually believe in Jesus because that's what they were told. That was the kind of Christian that I was. And then you got Christians who are very skillful, taught, and initiated Freemasons, that they also teach Christianity, but they do it from the perspective of the left-hand side. And people like myself were the result of their works, if that makes any kind of sense. These men, there's no fucking way that they have this in their goddamn church, right? And I just showed you in that movie, and we're going to show you a couple more clips, and then look at this. This is also in their church. Look at this. What do you see? What do you see? Look closely. You see a so-called black man, right? A Judite, and he's standing, and then you see two fucking pillars. You see a pillar that looks white, and you see a pillar that looks black. It looks darker. It's done like that on purpose. This is a fucking old picture. This ancient knowledge, this craftiness goes back, and all of these people, these are all men who were raised up by Esau to lead our fucking people. What? Into a false way. White Jesus. Renaissance Western Christianity is not the truth. It makes us call upon a false God. It puts an image of a fucking Edomite man in our minds. And then it even makes us look at Esau, Edom, as if we can't live without him. And they raise these bastards up, and this symbolism proves who their financial backing, who they answer to, what they're fucking doing. Look, I was just in, and I snapped these photos. I made sure the guy that was escorting me when he left, I took pictures real quick because I was like, and then I took some pictures of here, Good Soldier, Reverend Jasper Williams Jr. These are all people that were raised up in this bullshit. Look, these little fucking jakes, or these little people that are raised up in this shit. I snapped photos, man. I was like, yeah. And I remember when I saw those pillars, how instant, like I had like hatred, rage and hatred came through me, man. Because I was like, God damn, our own fucking people, bro. That they've become these, and it gets deeper. So let's do this. Let me see if I can find Appetite for Destruction. Let me see. Appetite for Destruction. NWA. Yep. Appetite for Destruction. I think this is it. Is this the one? Let me see. And before I get this started, I want to say fair use. My YouTube channel is not monetized. This is for the purposes of teaching, educational purposes only. I am not my channel is not monetized. But this is NWA, remember? So NWA came out around the same time. They were huge. Remember, this vibration was going around where you had all these so-called black males on television, you know, macho, bravado, lyrics, talking shit, fuck the police. It felt good. Everybody was starting to be like, wow, this is amazing. It's a new thing. There's no more rock bands. You got to remember, I was born in the 70s, raised up in the 80s. All I used to see, and I didn't care. I didn't know any better. All I used to see was big old, Bon Jovi, fucking David Lee Roth hair bands on TV. Now, out of nowhere, all these brothers are on TV, and they're getting down. It's a new thing going on right now. It's completely fucking controlled by Esau Edom, man. It's not organic. These men are not autonomous. They're being directed by our fucking arch enemy in prophecy, the Edomites, the tribe of Amalek, and they have made an agreement. Look at this.
I heard her when she screamed and dropped cause the sun caught the slug. Relay this to no choice and listen to the straight up man before they ban the boys while I rhyme to the rhythm.
Hold on, I don't want to play too much of it. Here we go. He's walking in. Let me see what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn the volume down. I don't know if that helps. I'm going to turn the volume down on this. And I'm going to play it slowly. I'm going to slow it down. Playback speed. I'm going to play it. Let's see if I can do this. And I want to show you the same fucking pillars right as he's walking in. Because he's walking in. Watch. You see so you see one pillar to his right, the girl's walking across, and there's another pillar to his left as he's walking in. You have to understand that that's what those are, because they don't belong there. But as he's rapping, you're not paying attention because you listen to him rap, and the camera's also spinning to help camouflage it. So you don't really pay attention to it, but that's what it is. There it is. There go your two pillars. And later, they're going to walk across the checkerboard floor. Watch, man, and you got to put it together. This is a Freemasonic production that we were told this was niggas with attitudes. These were supposed to be street dudes, bro, from Compton. These were supposed to be guys that were fuck the police, gangsters this, gangsters that, yet they got Esau's hand all in their fucking back. And this is like the #1 fucking gangster rap band of all time. But they're Freemasons. They're left-handed, black boule, covenant of death niggas, man. You got to see it. See it? They're bouncing around a lot on purpose. Their appetite is tremendous. So you see the pillars, right? So let me. There it is. Boom. All right, look down below by his coat. on the bottom, you see the checker. You can see the checkerboard right there. See the checkerboard? That's the checkerboard floor, bro. And that's the fucking 2 pillars. So he's standing in a Freemasonic temple while he's rapping to us. And we think he's only a so-called black male from California in a band called Niggas with Attitude, rapping with him and Eazy-E. And Ice Cube just left the band to go start his own. That's what we think's going on. This entire thing was being controlled the whole way. There goes the checkerboard floor again. Let me see if I can. There's another. I don't want to miss it. Hold on. Yep. When they go into the bank, watch. It's a same. Bam! Right there. You see it. 2 big ass pillars. Fucking checkerboard. That is a Freemasonic temple. You see this pillar over here on the right or the left, and you see this pillar over here on the right. That is a Freemasonic temple. That's what you're looking at with the checkerboard floor. So they're acting out a bank robbery. Oh, they're acting out a bank robbery. They're supposed to be gangsters. You're bobbing your head. The beat's fucking bad as fuck. But they're showing you satanic, left-handed, Edomite religion, white man fucking Esau, Amalek Esau, satanic religion that every Jake that's on TV has to bow down to if they're going to be there. But you think they're black, and they're telling you that you're black because they're black, or they're telling you that you're African American because they're African American, and you're getting your identity from the television because this is the only place you can get your identity right now. You don't know who the fuck you are. They don't talk about who you are at school. You gotta learn how to be what you are at school, especially if you're a so-called Jake that was raised around a bunch of fucking white people like I was. This is where I was getting my identity from. I was getting my identity from people like this all over the television. Because that was the only time I saw black people. And it's the same thing for niggas that live in fucking around a whole bunch of other black people. Same thing. All a Jake girl has to do is style her hair. When Salt and Pepper came out with fucking Push It, and they were wearing their hairstyles, every fucking black girl copied that shit, bro. Everybody copied NWA when they came out. And the whole time, Esau Edom was controlling the scenes. Now let's pull up some Freemasonic pictures, if we can. Freemasonic pillars and checkerboard. Let me see if that pulls it up. There you go. There it is. You see it. That's what you were seeing the entire time in the movies. That's what you saw in Tales from the Hood and in NWA. It's no fucking, what do you call it? It's not a coincidence. That's what the shit is, man. All right? That's what it fucking is, you guys. And that's what our people are. They're getting our people through Christianity, and they're getting our people through entertainment, using our people who have made the covenant with death to fucking put these doctrines of either African Americanisms, Black Americanisms, Renaissance Western, white Jesus Christianity, anything but the truth. And this is where the majority of our people, their minds are locked. They're locked in some form of sports, entertainment, music entertainment, or religious fucking doctrine that is controlled in the backgrounds by this shit. That was the whole point for this lesson, to show you. And it's not even an accident that I saw this and that I took pictures. God damn it. That I took pictures of that church last week. This is not an accident, man. And this is here in Atlanta. They did they had 22 fucking fire extinguishers that I tagged. And right when I walked in, I had to get buzzed in. They had to pop the door because there's like security all over this place. And right when I saw that, I was like, fucking free. Right in my mind, I said, free fucking Masons. And I looked around. Saw that picture, looked around, and was like, oh, and then I looked this out right away. I was like, God, I walked up to it and I acted. I made my body look like, ooh, you know, like, I'm so interested. I was like, look at the fucking pillars, man. I was like, these are not men of God. These are wicked. These are wicked people who have been trained to teach a version of the scriptures. So I was in Christianity. I was deceived the whole time, but I did genuinely love who I thought Yahushua was through that bad name they gave us, right? I didn't know him. I used to call him by his wrong. But again, that's in the prophecies. We would discontinue from our heritage. We would call upon gods that none of our fathers knew. That's what this goes into, man. It's all in the prophecies. I understand it now, but there's and I'm not tooting my own horn, but there is a difference between someone who is deceived and loves the Son of Yahweh Shai, but calls him by the wrong name and then wakes up out of it, compared to someone who is purposely and knowingly teaching a false doctrine for the money, because they're into the deception. They have made lies their refuge. You have to be into loving lies and loving to lie to people and watching the lies you are help telling grow throughout the world and the earth. You don't think all these people don't go home and look at the television and watch the news? They know the lies, and yet they stay silent, man. You don't think all the movies that these people have been in, they knew that there was a second or third message in the movie that most people don't even catch unless they have a spiritual eye to see it? They never get into an interview and say that part. They never say that part. They keep it quiet, bro. To this day, Ice Cube gets on fucking TV and tries to talk shit and say, we got to vote this, we got to vote that. He cares so much about his people. He's done, there's two things he hasn't done. He has never said his music was fucked up and helped fuck people up, because that's money, because that's his image. And he has never mentioned anything about the Freemasonic involvement in all of his music and all of NWA. He's never done that. So if he's not going to do that, if he's not going to confess that his own music was destructive, and if he's not going to confess anything about Freemasonry, what's he fucking doing? It's all bullshit. It's controlled opposition. Him getting on TV acting like he's got something to say, like he cares about his fucking people. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Because if he was going to say something, they'd fucking kill his ass. Straight up. So I pray that this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles who I learned this truth from and who teach and rule well, because they definitely don't teach like this. They don't teach us this bullshit, and they're not like these people. They teach us the truth. Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Gabar, Elder Apostle Ramlam, and the beloved brother Malcolm, and the beloved brother Yasharamba, and the brother South Carolina. How am I brain farting his name? And all the brothers in GMS, man, that speak this truth, that teach this truth, we're blessed. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai kept his word. I will give you pastors who will feed you according to my heart, my lob, with knowledge and understanding, because these motherfuckers haven't done that. They've taught us nothing but lies, you guys. They've taught us nothing but lies. These black boule Freemasonic Christian pastors have taught us lies, and these fucking entertainers, these bullshit entertainers, bro, have taught us nothing but lies, bro, because they want to line their fucking pockets, and they have become, and they have made lies their refuge, bro. All of them. They've made lies their refuge, bro. So only of all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, and double honor to the elders and apostles, great Muslim. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.